Hey everybody, it's Grace. I'm here in Red Rooster's training lab to show you two different ways that we can brew our Colombia Pink Bourbon varietal from our Trust the Process series. I'm going to show you two different ways to brew this coffee. The first one's going to be on our water dripper drop, and the second one is going to be on our iced Japanese style pour over. Let's get started. Now this device has a lot of different parts, so I'm going to show you how to put this thing together. So first off, you're going to want to put your filter in place. Be careful not to push the sides in. Over here is really delicate and it can damage it. So you're just going to kind of lock it in place or screw it in place like so. And then this is really important because this little piece here in the center of the upper chamber is going to adjust the flow rate of your coffee brew. So make sure that that is situated nice and snug. And we're going to open it just a little bit so that it can brew. Then we have our carafe, which the coffee is going to brew into, and then our lid. We also have another filter that we're going to set on top of those grinds. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grind our coffee. So this is a cold brew, so we need to adjust our grind size to fit cold brew. And that's going to be around the 8, 9, 10 mark on the Philip Ode grinder. I'm going to go 8. We're going to do a shorter, smaller ratio, 1:13, 1:14. I'm going to measure out 50 grams of coffee, and I'm going to brew using 650 to 700 milliliters of water. Oh man, that smells really, really good. Next up, we're just going to put everything together. This is going to go directly inside the carafe, like so. I'm going to pour my coffee directly into the filter, get it nice and level, the bed nice and level. And then we're just gonna saturate the grinds with cold water just to make sure everything's nice and moist. And very important, once you've done that, you're gonna wanna put another filter, a paper filter on top. Next, we're gonna put the upper chamber directly on top. You might need to twist it a little bit to make it nice and secure. And double check and make sure the valve that controls the water flow is open slightly. Otherwise, you're going to be putting your hand in the water to adjust it. We don't want to do that. We're just going to go ahead and pour that in. Put a lid on and watch the magic start to happen. This is going to take 45 minutes to an hour. Not quite 12 to 24 like a true cold brew concentrate. Still something that you can get started in the morning or in the late afternoon and come back and it'll be ready for you to drink. Now, I like to add a little bit of ice to mine. You don't need to. Nice swirl. This one packs a little bit more of a punch than the Japanese ice pour over, just because it is a little more concentrated. It is being brewed for longer, but I'm still getting that passion fruit, hibiscus, a little bit of wineberry in the finish. Really nice, really refreshing. Our next brew is going to be a Japanese style ice pour over. The name suggests that it is a flash chill type of coffee brew that was popularized in Japan. I'm going to use 20 grams of coffee and I'm going to do a 1:15 ratio, but I'm going to split the amount of ice and the amount of water I'm using. So I'm going to do 170 grams of ice, 170 milliliters of water. I'm going to brew this kind of on the finer side because this is going to be a really slow brew because it's going to happen really quickly. I'm going to wet my filter. I'm just going to go ahead and do this with room temperature water because we are doing an iced pour over. I don't want to heat my decanter up, but I still want to wet my filter and get all that papery taste out. Just remember to discard that water before you start brewing. Now I'm going to weigh out my ice. Again, we're splitting the amount of ice and water. So I'm going to do 170 grams of ice. Next up, we're going to add our coffee. Again, we're looking for about a medium fine grind for that. Got our coffee. We're going to tare our scale, and then we are going to bloom as well. We're going to start our timer, and we're going to go with 40 grams coffee for our bloom, nice and slow. And we're going to let that go for 45 seconds. After 45 seconds, we're going to pour really nice and slow so that we can push this brew time to like 2.5 minutes, which is going to be really tricky because we're only putting in 170 milliliters of water. Nice and slow. I like to try and stay in the center of the brew bed. There's no real reason to go to the outside. I like to give this just a little stir here midway through and keep on pouring. Nice and slow, nice and even. I like to pay attention to my water level bed as it rises and falls. I don't like to see my water go below the surface of the grinds. I like to keep that water level bed up. Just want to point out the bed of the coffee here. This is nice and flat. I don't have any high and dry grounds on the side, and that just comes from a nice, even, consistent pour, a nice, even extraction. Nearing the end here, 170. We're at 2 minutes and 10 seconds as our water delivery time. So our water contact time should be around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to give it a little spin. I like to do that to make sure my bed's nice and even. 2 minutes, 45 seconds, on the money. So this is an anaerobic natural process, which means the coffee is fermented in pressurized tanks and cuts out all the oxygen to the coffee. So I already know this coffee is going to be a fruit bomb, but let's give it a try. So clean, so crisp, so refreshing, exactly what I was going for. I'm getting a lot of passion fruit and hibiscus and a nice peach syrupy finish. So good. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed these 2 different brew methods for our Trust the Process. Again, this is a Colombian pink bourbon from the Immaculata Coffee Farms. It's an anaerobic natural. It's incredibly fruity, it's incredibly funky, and I know you'll enjoy it. It is also a limited series, so it's not going to be around for that long, so you're going to want to get your hands on this. The packaging is in this beautiful reusable can and was designed by our friend Susan Lau over in Malaysia. Get it while you can. It's not going to be around for that much longer. If you want to check out our website, we have classes and other coffees and tours and tastings and so many things galore going on this summer. So come and see us, get some of our coffee. Thanks so much.